In 2016, a 4-year-old girl in Moscow named Bella Devyatkina sat on a TV stage and answered questions in 7 languages. 7 before she could tie her shoes.
What are the 7 languages you can speak?
Russian,
Yeah.
English, Arabic, Italian, Spanish, German, Chinese.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
And meanwhile, you've been staring at the same 20 English words for a month and they still won't stick. Here's the part nobody tells you. The difference isn't some genius gene. It's how a word gets stored in the first place. Try gluing a wet fish to a whiteboard. You press it flat and it slides right off. Splat. That's your brain trying to hold a foreign word as plain text. Nothing to grab onto. But decades of memory research point to one specific technique that turns almost any word into Velcro, and almost no app uses it properly. Start with why a vocabulary list fails. Gato equals cat is 2 symbols on a line, joined by nothing but an equals sign. To your memory system, that's what researchers call shallow encoding. The word enters through the eyes, gets processed on the surface, and never links to anything already in your head. In 1972, Craik and Lockhart demonstrated the rule behind it. The deeper and more richly you process information, the longer it survives. A flat pair of words is about as shallow as processing gets, so it decays within minutes. Now compare that to an image. In the 1970s, Alan Paivio proposed dual coding theory. Your brain stores information in 2 separate systems, one for language and one for mental imagery. And when something is encoded in both at once, you get 2 independent routes to retrieve it later. That is the basis of one of the most replicated findings in memory science, the picture superiority effect. Across hundreds of experiments, images are recalled far better than the words that describe them. A word on its own gets 1 weak channel, a word fused to a vivid image gets 2. This is the engine behind a technique called the keyword method. You take the sound of the foreign word, find a familiar word that sounds like it, and bind them together inside a single mental image. The binding is the critical part. Gordon Bower's imagery experiments showed that 2 items pictured as separate objects barely help recall. But the moment you make them interact in one scene, memory for the pair jumps sharply. You are not storing a translation. You are constructing an interactive image, encoded on both channels at the same time. Here's the mechanism in action. Gato sounds like gate. So instead of the bare word cat, you build a scene. An enormous cat jammed into a garden. Gate. The bars bending, the whole frame rattling as it forces its way through. Watch what that scene is doing. The sound gate anchors the pronunciation. The image encodes it visually. That's dual coding. The cat and the gate interact, so it binds. That's Bower's effect. And it is unusual, which triggers the von Restorff effect. Within any set, the one item that stands out is the one the brain keeps. 4 memory principles firing on a single strange picture. So why doesn't the app on your phone just do this for you? It places a clean stock photo of a cat beside the word. In theory that should help because it's an image, but it breaks 2 of the principles at once. The photo doesn't interact with the sound of the word, so nothing binds. It just sits next to the text, and a generic stock image is the opposite of distinctive. Your visual system has seen thousands of them, so the von Restorff advantage disappears. A polished, familiar picture is processed shallowly and discarded. The image has to be specific, interactive, and strange, or it is only decoration. Which brings us to the study that put a number on all of it. In 1975, Atkinson and Roth at Stanford taught students Russian vocabulary. One group used standard rote repetition. The other used the keyword method. The rote group recalled about 46%. The keyword group reached 72%. Same words, same study time from nothing but building sound-linked images. That principle is exactly what Mindory's memory cues are built on. Instead of a lifeless stock photo, every word arrives with a vivid, interacting, deliberately unusual hook, dual-coded and distinctive by design. In English, for now. Links in the description. The method itself is free. Don't store the word flat, encode it twice, make the picture interact, and make it strange. See you in the next one.